Hello guys, this is Josue again with another video uh, on how to edit a photo in Affinity Pro. Here I'm doing one of my daughter's pictures that I took a while ago. First thing, adjusting the exposure on the photo before I start editing it. This actually becomes really much easier once I start putting more work into it. First thing I'm doing, let's see, adjusting the shadow right now, making sure I like to zoom in and zoom out all the time just to look at the eyes, where the shadows like underneath the hair. Once I get to the desired look that I want, where I want to start it at, then I just click develop right on the left high corner right there. Once I'm in that page right here, now I start the heavy editing on it, which I don't do too much. I try not to do so much into it. I already know exactly what I want to do to it. So first thing I'm gonna do um, will be a curve adjustment. It's kind of hard. It's not showing in this video how the things that I'm adjusting and all that, but it's usually very easy. What I'm trying to do is probably a color balance and adjustment, trying to make those colors pop up a little bit more. You start seeing more of that color coming in the on her shirt. Then I'm doing some warm adjustment. Now I'm trying to cool it down a little bit, not so much. Once I figure out which I want or the settings that I wanted, then I move on to the next one. Still in curves adjustment. Now I'm gonna crop it. Actually, I'm gonna make sure everything is centered how I want it at. Still using the third rule of thumb on this. And I want to make sure everything is really evenly and nice. I'll give a little bit more on the top of the head. Some people have a different type of style. I like to have a little bit more on top of the head. It all depends on what do you type of picture you want to do. Of course, if you're gonna get more closer, then it probably is gonna get that top border is gonna start getting smaller and smaller. Here I'm gonna start doing what's called a levels adjustment. So I'm gonna start looking into the eyes. I want to make sure I pop those eyes a little bit more. I know she has glasses, so it's kind of a little bit hard to do that, just because you're gonna be like integrating a little bit of the glass glare in it, so it's not gonna look really natural. So I'm gonna change the opacity on that. Probably make it about 5% flow with the opacity 100, I think. There you go. So just go really small. I know it kind of looks like, this is a naturally nice look right there. How you want to do, like, if you want to do like a zombie style one. But no, I'm gonna bring that a little bit down, more on the adjustment panel. I don't really want to overdo it. Just want to keep it a little bit right there. I kind of showing what it would look like all the way up. I like to go all the way up, then I go all the way down, and I try to get a little bit in the middle. But I like to make sure it's all balanced. as I'm doing this, I'm also putting some a little bit of black and then some shadow in that same panel adjustment. So now I'm gonna do a white balance adjustment. There's so many ways to do a white balance adjustment. Um, like I'm, if I can tell you, I think I have like three ways to do it. I can just do it with setting the affinity provides, or I can do it with other different ways, which is kind of a little bit like more like cheating, and but it actually becomes really good. Now I'm doing a high shadows and highlights adjustment, trying to get a little bit like pop those shadows a little bit more, but not too much, so it doesn't look real. Because you can overdo it all the time. But yeah, guys, like if you guys wanna see more of this video, just please like, subscribe on my channel, and I will appreciate it a lot. Now I'm gonna do a Gaussian blur, which I'm gonna like kind of like integrate this on the skin. And then of course, I'm gonna invert the layer, so that way I can start working on that smooth texture of her skin. Like there's so many ways you guys want to do this. Usually I can do the right way, which is kind of like just focusing on the picture, like what I'm gonna do right now here. So right now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start working on just the on just her skin. So I basically what I did, I duplicate the same photo. Now I'm kind of going back. So basically, I went all the way to the bottom of the right hand side, and I just duplicate the bottom picture, the very first layer. So what I'm doing now, I'm gonna start um, using my brush, when I'm kind of cleaning and cloning at the same time little sections of her skin, trying to minimize uh, big sections, but I'm just trying to get like the very small little dimples that she has on her skin, little small little discolorations, freckles. I know which, of course, she's my daughter, so I know which freckles are the ones that pop a lot. So I try to take the other ones that are kind of like that shouldn't be there. So I start minimize the little details and all that, trying to take away like extra little hair fuzzy on her side, her mouth, extra little tiny things like that shouldn't be on the photo. And I just trying to do a full cleanup on her face, make sure everything looks good. There's nothing else that is showing. Trying to get some of those wrinkles off of it too. That way, it becomes much easier to do the final edits on it too. It's a little walkthrough of the things that I do at home, especially on a photo when I'm starting to edit it. There you go. See those little white spots right there? That's just like depending on how the light was repositioned on that set on that moment. Just make those little tiny little hair particles like get a little bit brighter than the photo. Not that very hard to remove on this software. This is why I love using Affinity. It's there's so much stuff that I don't even know yet, but it's just I keep learning every day that I use it, and I keep finding a different way to do it without using the actual setting that they have. So I think I'm finalizing a little bit more of the things that I'm trying to get clean on her face. Uh, Obviously, this is a long and it can be a very tedious process because there's so much you can change and alter on that photo by doing that. Okay, so still in the moment, still in the section where I'm still gonna mess with that skin. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add another a layer. I'm gonna duplicate that layer that I just like edited, and I remove all that stuff, and I do. This is what's called a frequency adjustment, which it kind of removes the sharpness of the photo, but also as you can also add texture on it. It's kind of hard to explain, but so basically what I'm doing a high and low frequency setting right now. So basically on my left that would be your high frequency, and the right will be your low. So right now it's just showing what's like it kind of like you can remove the sharpness and make it smooth, or you can add too. And you can use this very on the texture of the skin too. You can put sections where there's no texture and it just looks kind of flat. You can add that texture on that by removing some of that texture from one section of the photo and put it on that. But you can also like, alter the color too. So if you find spots that are really a little bit white, you can grab spots from other place. It kind of acts like cloning, but it ain't ain't that perfect. Like this one, you can actually like legit like figure out the little portions that you want to use, and if you want to make that smooth or you want to just add the texture on it. So I'm in the high frequency adjustment right now, and what I'm doing, I'm cloning. This is a method that is kind of like that, and it kind of goes into it, into that on the setting that I'm using. So basically, I'm just like cloning spots, adding some of that texture, and I just keep doing that on the high frequency layer. Go around. It's so much things you can do when like this is why I tell people a lot like take pictures in raw, because it becomes so much easier when you're doing uh, alterations on that photo in your softwares, whatever you do in Lightroom, Photoshop, Affinity Pro. God, there's so many other softwares for that. But like a lot of people that like they argue about is like, oh, if I do raw, oh, if I'm editing photos, oh, my pictures are gonna be so high on on data if I want to save it to a flash card, or I want to like import something. Like, well, that's another thing you have to learn too. You have to learn how to import photos. You need to learn how to like make other selections so that you can turn it into a JPEG, and it's much easier to share every other ways. So right now, and this what I'm doing, I'm also using the low frequency now, which it gives me the access to move and transfer some of the coloration from another section to the photo. So I'm trying to use the same thing, but trying to grab a little bit more from the bottom of that wrinkle, so that way I can like get rid of those wrinkles away, which is working, but I still don't like it too much because now you're messing with the glass, her glasses, and it's not fitting too well. But it's just like the smaller the brush you make, that easy will become. So now I'm working a little bit on that right socket right there. So I'm basically grabbing some of that coloration over there, making it brush big now, so I can actually like make it smooth. So that's another trick too. What I did is just I get like a little small section. I clone it, and then I expand my brush higher, so that way when I expand it, it kind of turns it. I stretch in those colors, so it becomes a little bit much better blend. You can also use blend modes there too, and you can just bring that blend down a little bit. But it's, like I tell you, like I can completely lose you guys if I keep telling you things and things all over, because there's so many ways that you can do it, not just this way that I'm doing it. And you have to be very, very, very strict too on how you lay your layers on the right panels, how I have them right now. Because if you were doing this and you were doing that on the last layer of the screen right there, then you would be altering the whole picture instead of just the skin. And right now I'm targeting just the skin, and I'm not changing anything from the up there from the photo too. See, right now I'm smoothing everything. Make sure everything looks very smooth. Brought my flow down to a 25%. Making sure all those edges are really good. Of course, I'm gonna leave some wrinkles right there, like those main ones, but that's hell better right there. Once I get all that done, I usually go back to my high frequency, do a little bit sections right there. Then I can show you what it looks like before and after. See, the things are changing. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. There you go. Look, before and after. So yeah, that takes away a lot of the wrinkle eyes that she has. So now I'm gonna go back to my top layer where it was the shadows and highlights adjustments. That's where I kind of left it at. I'm gonna do some final checks now. Now I'm gonna do a noise remove. So I'm gonna try to make sure I take some of that noise away, make that photo look a little bit much smooth, not too much because then it becomes a little bit unrealistic. So this is the whole photo. What I do, I'm gonna do a merge all together. So I merge all those layers to one single photo, basically. Then I'm gonna add a plane adjustment on it. That way I can make those colors and the whole picture pop. You see how I kind of make the photo dark. I'm gonna find the sweet spot. Probably is about always is a. I always like to do a blend mode about 10 to 25%. That gives it a little punch on the photo. See right there. It's a little bit dull and now it's a little bit punchy. There you go. The opacity of that layer was I left it at 25% actually. I'm trying to add a vignette on it, but I don't think I'm gonna do it. But it actually makes the picture pop a little bit much better too. Kinda makes you focus right in the middle. But yeah, that's one of those things that you like. It all becomes easy the more you do it, the more you try it. I keep going back and forth because that's how I can tell the difference that I'm doing in the picture. Because if I keep it on one setting and then I move it to the other setting, no, I can't tell. There you go. I think I really like that look on the vignette. So I'm gonna say screw that, I guess, and I took it off. But now, of course, I'm adding my signature on my photo. It's one of the things I keep my picture and the, which I'm the artist, so nobody can steal my pictures and all that. Some photographers don't like adding that. I honestly, I have always done it. You want to find a good spot where you want to leave it at. Some people are so used to living in the corners, other ones like to move it around. Um, and I honestly go with my eyes, so I put it in and then I move out. And then I find the right way. I think that looks much better right there. Okay, now I'm gonna do was okay. So I'm sure that's pretty much it of the whole photo. So you know what, guys? Thank you a lot for watching, and I hope the this video becomes a little bit much handy for you guys to understand and on the future videos that I will be making. And thank you guys for spending that much time with me on